What's up everybody, this is Ripples in Wales back for another video. I hope you're all doing well and having a great day wherever you are in the world and whatever you're doing. Tuesday morning here, sun is shining, got a bit back of the summer vibes going on in Wales. Excuse me. And today I thought we'd just have a quick look. This is going to be a super short video, but I'm going to have a quick look at the idea of a price shock in the XRP market. It's something that I've looked at for a few years, on and off, and really kept my eye on, and seen various posts that may or may not reflect the nature of how this could roll out. Could it occur? Could there be a bottleneck in price? Are there any places that we could see a liquidity shock and excess demand for a token that becomes scarce? And I found a couple of interesting bits of research from various people in the community who have been turning over stones and doing their due diligence, and it's worth having a look at nonetheless. And you know, in a market that seems to be building a positive sentiment towards XRP, it would be bad practice not to keep our minds and eyes open for an eventuality in this case. I mean, we're all in the same space and we're all looking at what potential narratives could play out. These are just theories, they're just postulations, ideas, there's nothing concrete in these, but it's worth having a look at what the data is saying. I work in science and data science as a physicist, and data doesn't lie generally. You can make data lie, but pure data doesn't lie. So we can have a look at what the information in the field is saying, and yeah, let's have a quick dive in. This is not going to be a long video by any means, just a quick going over. Just another sip of coffee. It's early here in the morning, but I want to get a couple of videos out for you all today to cover some of these topics. So this popped up in my timeline a few days ago, and I was a little bit skeptical about the numbers. Some of the community members reached out to me and said that the data from the Upbit exchange, they could verify that some of the holdings, I think it was up to a valuation that we saw about 2 point something, potentially 2 point something billion was in its reserves. I couldn't verify that it holds 3.8 billion XRP. Upbit does, as of the time of recording, which is the 15th of August. Time's flying this year, isn't it? But the point was the picture. This shows the available public XRP liquidity, and by public we mean on the open secondary markets. I'm not an expert in this, I'm learning like you all guys. But the idea that each one of these exchanges holds a finite amount of XRP, and it isn't, you know, each one of these XRP tokens isn't going to be sold for the base level price. There is a gradation to the price that people are willing to sell their XRP for. So I mean, my XRP is not going to be sold for anything less than a certain value. It may be $10, it may be $20, it may be $100. But my point is, I won't have sell orders in at the current market rate, which is at 50 pence in the UK or 62 cents. I think it is, or thereabouts in the US. And so any given available supply, say we're looking at Coinbase here on the XRP public liquidity chart, well, that 10 million that is available to be sold, or first of all to be purchased at market rate from Coinbase, in part, you know, won't all be at base rate, because you can there is going to be sellers and there's going to be retail sellers, and there's going to be Coinbase itself. And I don't know if this data here is an accumulation of just what Coinbase holds in its reserves, or what its total volume is that it's holding on the exchange, which is a combination of both retail's sell orders for their XRP and Coinbase's own initial holdings. This is one bit of data that I can't really extrapolate from this. I want to presume, and this is the big thing, to presume that each one of these values is their holdings, their own personal holdings, but that might not be the case. And so for the premise of accuracy, we'll assume it's a combination of both retail and their own holdings. And of course, they will sell the XRP at market rate. Okay, so if a lot of their XRP will not be for sale at, you won't be able to buy it, every token from them at the base level price. They use arbitrage mechanisms using AI to formalize a price, and as the value of the price is going up with market rates, their base level price for XRP also rises to buyers. And we've got to look at ways that there might be a price shock, because the 10 million available on there may move quite quickly from 1 to, say we're looking at Coinbase now, the price may move from 1 to $3.30, which is the all-time high, very quickly. At which case that base level price for those 10 million XRP moves up very quickly to $3.30. But then they don't need to sell that at that open market price potentially, because there may be enough retail volume, people selling and dumping onto the market as well, so that they can fill up the order books. And so there is this kind of a seesaw that occurs on exchanges, from my limited knowledge about it. That if the retail don't want to sell their XRP until $20, so there is a gradational price increase from $3 to $23 on any given exchange, the price could bolt quite quickly. And of course, the exchanges are in it to make business, and they will quite quickly adapt their prices to serve the extra demand. And we can see here that there's quite a large pool. And I can't fact check these data sets, but if we assume that the up bit is spurious, I can't verify that. But if we just take everything from Kraken down to HBit, we've probably got the best part of 1.5 billion tokens or thereabouts. I think that's what it is it? About 1.5 billion. Call it 1.6, 1.7 billion, which is 1.7% of the entire supply. I'm going to take up bids out of the equation for this because I can't verify that. And it's a Korean exchange, if I'm not mistaken. So, how could this price be forced up? Well, let's going to go to a video, 2 videos in fact. The first one was by Brad Kimes. I'm going to pull that down. I'm going to have a little bit listen to what he says. This is from a year ago, and this was in reference to a Ripple Q4 report with XRP being bought back off the secondary markets by Ripple to the tune of 321 million. So Q4, I'm assuming this is 2022, and this we can check this in Ripple's reports.
This first, because this is important. Overall, Ripple sold a total of $717 million in Q4 compared to $491.74 in Q3. Got it? Okay. It also purchased $321 million plus worth of XRP off of the market we're on. You ready for the next part? The company hasn't conducted any programmatic sales since the fourth quarter of 2019, which means it did not sell any XRP tokens to exchanges during the fourth quarter.
Okay, I'm going to have to pause that there because we're about to see a bloody video an advert come in. I'm going to let that play through without the sound on for a second. Okay, so let's just go over what Brad said there. And shout out to Brad Kimes for just pumping out insanely valuable content to everyone all the time. I'm just going to pause that there for a second. So, Ripple in Q4 2022 bought back a total of $321 million worth of XRP off the open secondary market. That's off your markets. That isn't OTC. That isn't buyback from clients, from ODL. That is a buyback from the open markets globally. Let that sink in a minute. That's just in Q4 over 3 months. They purchased 321, interesting numbers here, 321 million dollars worth of XRP off the open market. But to further that, the really interesting bit of data was what Brad said, is that the company hasn't conducted any programmatic sales since the fourth quarter of 2019, which means that it didn't sell any XRP to exchanges during that fourth quarter. Okay, so So there's no programmatic sales of XRP, right, to the secondary markets since 2019, if we've understood that correctly. Ripple is not selling XRP back onto the open markets now to retail. It's done. That isn't occurring. They haven't done it in ages. Right, so you've got this, imagine that the faucet, or the tap as we call it in the UK, being shut off. So what is on the market is on the market, and we can look at this diagram here. This potentially is all there is, and if we just remove the 3.8 billion here, we've probably got 1.5 billion tokens around, or 1.7 billion XRP in circulation on the secondary. Okay, I don't trust that up at 3.8 billion until someone verifies it, so we'll remove it from the data set. Okay, so in the worst case scenario, there is 1.7 billion XRP, 1.7% floating around. Now, we have had the summary judgment in favour and ruling that on the secondary market sales, retail investors are able to purchase XRP from the second market. It's a non-security, but, and here's the rub, but, and we can look at an article for this by Bloomberg. A federal judge has ruled that Ripple Labs token is a security when sold to institutional investors, but not the general public. Now, this is the flippening, okay? Institutional investors, like they can't buy it from Ripple Labs anymore. Do you see how big that is? They can't buy it from Ripple Labs OTC in the United States. They're stuffed. They've hit a brick wall there now. So where do they go? Institutional investors, and we're talking large-scale investors, are going to have to go in the US to these sales. There is only 1.7 billion tokens flowing around globally. Let's just go and look at another article, right? This is Ripple's Q1 report 2023. Huge drops in here. Ripple has sourced. Okay, so this is like under the heading on the bottom of their report, detailed disciplined, responsible stakeholders in Q1 sales and purchases. Okay. It starts last quarter. Total XRP sales by Ripple net of purchases were 361 million versus 226 million in the previous quarter. Ripple's continued to sell XRP only in connection with ODL transactions. Since 2020, Ripple has sourced XRP from the open market to ensure there is a sufficient supply of XRP available for our growing ODL business. Let's just highlight that, right? They are sucking it dry off retail to sell back to them, and they're allowed. This isn't something that's dodgy doing, and we can see exactly. And it says, we continue to strive to minimise undue market impact with our purchases, for example, by limiting how much and from where we purchase our XRP. So, Ripple are buying the XRP back off the open market, off you as you sell. Okay, and we can see the total purchases here. It's 2.5 billion. Q4 it was 2.7 billion. And I found some fantastic FUD articles by the likes of the Crypto Basic. Ripple purchases 8.4 billion XRP from the secondary markets since the SEC lawsuit to sustain the token's price. You see, everything is skewed in a certain direction, is it? It's not to sustain the price, it's to sustain the appetite of the ODL sales. Huge thing that. So we've seen before now that Ripple is buying per quarter of 2023 2.5 billion worth of XRP. Summary of Ripple's sales, and that's his total purchases. Total ODL related sales, total purchase. Now, if I've read that fact right, then we're on right. Someone can fact check my work. If I'm wrong, no problem. We'll see to it. So we've seen the FUD articles. Now, we've seen this flywheel effect before. Okay, and I want to bring this to attention because we can sense that the implementation for payments, a better payments technology is really in the fold now. Okay, we are getting very close to the point of no return. And this was released, I think it was in 2018, 2019, maybe 2020. I'll have to have a look. The flywheel effect. And this is where we were then. Okay, before the pandemic and the acceleration of everything else. Okay, the expecting to move to go live, boosting with digital assets as number 6. Okay, they're ready to go. Why are they sucking up the extra markets volume of XRP off the open markets now? Why are they? You've got summary judgment in your favour. You've got now that the asset is now a non-security in the open market, and it is or potentially a security if it's sold by Ripple to the institutional investors, which is interesting. Okay, so we've got a situation whereby there is a low supply. Okay, the demand is increasing. We can see that in the chart. If we look across this nice trend line going up, demand is rising for this asset. And should we see even more favorable news come out in the future for its adoption through whatever CBDCs or through increased partnerships through their ODL products, and we're talking about Ripple now, we will see further demand in countries as the need and the necessity for this tool, this XRP utility token, increases. And Shane Ellis, I want to push just very briefly upon a theory that was floated. I'm not condoning an XRP $500 price, although I would not say no to it. Wild speculation. Shane Ellis' theory was back in 2019, and they talked about supply shock, whereby retail arbitrage would occur through a bottleneck in supply, and then the increasing price on exchanges could soar as arbitrage, as one exchange would run dry. For instance, say we talked about Coinbase and its 10 million supply. If that was purchased, say 80% of it was pulled out and it created a massive supply shock, then other exchanges would also take advantage and arbitrage to the same price, creating a new price floor. Of course, you'd have the open market react and flood it with sell orders, and then you might get a correction. But the point in conjecture was that it wouldn't take an enormous amount of XRP to push it up to $500 price. In terms of Bittrex order book currently shows that 27 cents to $500, there's a total of only $39 million worth of XRP sales needed to push that. And the same with other exchanges. So potentially on one exchange, you wouldn't need an enormous buy order of hundreds of millions, if not billions, to push price the needle up quite high. Now, I'm not speculating that this is the case, and it could be the case. Now you have bots, you have AI that would just take advantage of every opportunity like that, but it doesn't take as much as we think to move the needle. And from that, we'll leave it at that. So please give me a follow on Twitter. Come and say hi. It's Ripples in Wales. If you like the video, smash it a like. Give us a follow. We're up to 597 followers now. Subscribers, followers, whatever we call it on Twitter. Give us a subscribe, and also turn the notifications on if you so wish. I don't always do it, I'll be honest. Anyhow, I hope that has been useful to have a quick look at what potential price discovery we could see in the event of a liquidity shock, knowing now that Ripple is also buying off the secondary markets, and that it's not resupplying the secondary markets with any XRP. Okay, what is out in the wild is in the wild. Okay, and as demand increases, this XRP will reduce dramatically in circulation. Those are my perspectives. Anyway, have a great day, guys. I hope that helps. See you all in the next video. Be blessed.